This video is brought to you by the Roll for Combat Actual Play podcast and their Three Ring Adventure series, and by the Deck of Mini and their Big Bad Booklet series. Hello and welcome back to the Gallant Goblin. I think this might be the densest thing we've ever reviewed. You could hurt somebody with these. These are the Pathfinder 2e Bestiary 2 cards. Many thanks to Paizo for sending them to us to review with you. You know by now that I love me some reference cards, especially when they're high quality and well designed, and these are the first reference cards from Paizo that we've reviewed here, so I'm eager to see how they stack up. In this box, we have 380 cards covering, I believe, all the creatures from Bestiary 2. So let's go ahead, open them up, and take a closer look. This is the biggest single box of RPG reference cards I think I've come across. And I mean that in a couple of different ways. 380 cards is a lot of cards, and these cards are big. I'll show you some comparisons in a sec. The cards arrive sorted alphabetically, thank Desna. The card quality is good. They seem a bit thinner than your standard cardstock, but they're printed to the edges and they have rounded corners, which helps hide a lot of that wear and tear. They're glossy but don't have a silken texture like some cards do. And like I said earlier, they're quite large for cards. Let's compare them to some of our other D&D monster cards. On the left here, we have some cards from Gale Force 9's D&D Monster Card Challenge 6 through 16 deck, which included both regular and oversized cards. The regular card is 2.5 by 3.5 inches, which is the standard playing card size, and the oversized card is 3.5 by 5 inches. Next to that, we have a standard tarot size card from the Deck of Mini, one of our sponsors, from their Monsters deck. That card is 2 3/4 by 4 3/4 inches. And we've got a monster card from Dungeon in a Box that's 4.5 by 5.5 inches. Now we have our Paizo card here, which is 4 by 6 inches. This is nice not only for the extra room to show off the monster art, but because it allows them to print the stat block in a slightly larger font, making it easier to read for those of us who maybe had to go to Barnes & Noble last week to buy our first pair of reading glasses. And if you like to sleeve your cards, 4 by 6 is a standard size, so you won't have trouble finding sleeves. And keep in mind, all these other cards are for D&D 5th edition. If you want Pathfinder 2e cards, your options are much more limited. Monster cards are a different beast, so to speak, than your standard reference cards. If you've got spell reference cards from the Deck of Mini, for instance, they're just for you to keep track of your spells at your seat, whether you're a player or the GM. But with monster cards, ideally they'll be used by the GM and the players at the same time, but for different purposes. The best monster cards will allow the players to see the artwork for the monster, while the GM has access to the stat block on the back, and that's exactly what you get here. Another nice thing about these cards versus some others is that the front just shows the art. There's no monster name, no CR rating, no information that the players shouldn't have. So that lets you display them without the fear of giving the players information that they didn't gain themselves via successful knowledge checks. And another nice thing about the cards versus the stat blocks in the Bestiary is that everything on the cards is self-contained. On some of the stat blocks in the book, instead of repeating the text of certain shared abilities between creatures, they'll just refer you to other stat blocks. So you find yourself flipping back and forth trying to find all the information you need. Here, luckily, most everything you need is on the card itself. So, what sort of creatures are included in this set? I can't say Bestiary 2 really focuses in one specific area. Certainly Bestiary 1 gave us the most important creatures in the game, from kobolds up to dragons. So this set does seem to be filling in a little bit of that flavor space. We have a ton of straight up animals, including the staple of D&D and Pathfinder, giant versions of animals, from giant crabs to giant jellyfish to giant mosquitoes to giant hippocampuses. Hippocampi? These cards are not a complete replication of the book, of course. You're missing all the flavor text giving you background information, monster descriptions, loot ideas, role-playing tips, descriptions of all the traits, and the lists and tables that group monsters by type and level and rarity. So consider these cards a supplement to rather than a substitute for the Bestiary 2 book. As for creatures, again, you've got your lesser-known dragons, and the Dragonkin. You've got crystal dragons and cloud dragons, magma dragons and brine dragons. There are elementals like mephits of certain types. There are more fays and fiends and shadow creatures. There's more trolls, a few more oozes, quite a few plants, and several undead creatures, among hundreds of others. Now let's take a look at how to use these cards during gameplay. I have two methods that I like. First, I like card holders like this. I picked this one up from Dogmite Games. It's really easy, just put it down and slot your cards right in like this. And what's nice about these is that they'll be visible to you and to your players, and you can get all different kinds of varieties of card holders out there, from super nice ones made of rare exotic woods to really cheap plastic ones off of Amazon. Secondly, you can use little double-sided clips like this on top of your GM screen. These are two that I bought from Amazon. They're made to display like little sales signs at stores and restaurants. This one here is called the Plastic Merchandise Sign Clips and came in a pack of 10 for about $11. And this one's called the Deflecto Versa Grip Double Clip, and it came in a pack of 10 for only about $3. And what's really cool about these is that they actually can be rotated around like that. So it really is, you can make it, no matter where you're sitting at the table, completely visible to everyone around you, and you can see it yourself. And if you're a fan of 3D printers, I'm going to link a design for you below from a designer known as Hyena Lobster. While their name is a little bit close to Knowles for my taste, they do have a nice looking 3D printable clip that you can try like these. I didn't have time to print one up myself because I'm in the process of moving, but it seems like a simple and usable solution if you do your own 3D printing. So I'll post links to all these clips in the video description down below. Let me show you the two most powerful creatures in the set, because that's just always fun, right? First, we have the Jabberwock, based on the poem by Lewis Carroll included in the sequel to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Here's the original illustration from the book by John Tenniel, drawn in 1871, and the illustration on the card here. Interesting. Very briefly, the Jabberwock in Pathfinder lore is from the Fey realm of the First World, and they're generally considered to be created to cause devastation on the material plane. They're level 23 creatures who have a strong connection and fear of vorpal weapons, which also originated in the Jabberwocky poem, by the way. And the Jabberwocks absolutely hate dragons from the material plane. As many scholars believe that the First World was a sort of first draft of the material plane, so too do they think that the Jabberwocks were the first draft of dragons. So the Jabberwocks see the dragons as the younger models who came along and replaced them, and no one likes that. Just to give you a sense of how strong they are, they have an AC of 49 and a plus 42 to hit. Next, we have the Solar, our other level 23 creature. Luckily, this one is on the side of the good guys. Solars, or archangels as they're called, usually serve a straight-up deity or lead a specific effort to improve the world. They're also known as one of the great trackers of the multiverse. So, as you can see, both of these creatures are fairly complicated and maybe as you would expect for a level 23 creature, so they split the stat block across two cards. The fronts of the cards are identical. The other thing to keep in mind is that the cards are labeled using the same organizational system that the Bestiary uses. So when you're trying to find the Solar card, for example, it's not filed under Solar, it's filed under Angel, Solar. Now that brings us to the one problem I have with this set, and this is true for I think every reference card system out there right now, and that's the box itself. The cards are stored in two piles, so to get the cards you want, you have to just dig through the stack, taking out a random number of cards until you find the one you want. It's not really an elegant solution. Ideally, I'd love a box that would allow the cards to stand upright, so you could just flip through them to find the one you want. And man, it would be great if they had alphabetical dividers as well. But honestly, what would probably make the most sense at this point would be to release a big box. This is something that quite a few card games have done, like Smash Up, like Sentinels of the Multiverse, and even Star Realms. At some point, just sell a big, beautiful box with dividers and foam inserts to fill the empty space. You don't even have to sell any cards with it, but make it large enough to hold like 8 bestiaries worth of cards. That way you can sell the box to just the people who want it without increasing the cost for each individual pack of cards like this, because they're already fairly expensive products. And having to haul around half a dozen different boxes of cards like this isn't a really great solution either. But when you're playing the game and you don't really care if the monster came from Bestiary 2 or Bestiary 37, you just want to find the card quickly when you need it. So I think a big Bestiary box would be an awesome addition to the line that would make these cards so much easier to use. Plus, seeing all that empty space in the box would make you want to buy more cards. Folks designed their own solutions for games like Dominion here, using the art supply boxes from Hobby Lobby, so it is something that the fans can create and share amongst themselves, though I haven't quite stumbled across anything for Pathfinder just yet. If you know of any organizational systems out there, let me know in the comments section down below. So, all in all, these cards are fantastic. The Pathfinder Bestiary 2 cards are available now for between $45 and $60. The Bestiary 1 deck is out there as well for about the same price. You can also get a PDF version of the cards on Paizo's web store for about $42. Let me know what you think of the cards and if you have any favorite monsters from Bestiary 2 in the comments section down below. Many thanks to our sponsors for this video. First, the Deck of Mini and their Big Bad Booklet series, a monthly zine with boss monsters for 5th edition. As you probably know, they're a fantastic resource to tell fun and varied and interesting stories with your gaming group. Each one has a totally different theme and tone. This month, come meet Vellai-Axal, an ancient writhing sea monster devoted to the thrill of the hunt. Will you stop this eldritch being or be lured by its song into the depths? Subscribe today at bigbadbooklet.com. Next, we have the Roll for Combat Actual Play podcast and their Three Ring Adventure series. This is an officially licensed playthrough of the very popular Extinction Curse adventure path for Pathfinder 2nd edition, in which the players have to balance running and performing in a circus while also fighting back against a great evil. It's a fascinating adventure so far, so come check it out with me and then discuss it with us over at Roll for Combat's Discord channel. Check out the Three Ring Adventure series and all the other shows on offer at rollforcombat.com. Thank you for watching today. If you enjoyed the video, you can click the little thumbs up button down below to recommend it to others. Subscribe so you don't miss anything. And you can always find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For now, stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.